as we kick off this today's conference, as I mentioned yesterday, we had a great day of with the Company Investor Spotlight with company pitches and investor panels. And I did get a chance to talk in a lot more detail about the SSBCI program, which I've got a couple slides on here this morning, but I did talk in more detail about that in yesterday's presentation. Oh, there we go, thanks. All right, so we like to simplify things. So thank goodness ABC introduced Shark Tank in the United States, because we can tell everyone we're like the Mississippi Shark Tank as an easy explanation when people ask what Innovate Mississippi is all about and what we do. That's a gross oversimplification, though, because we would also tell people we are not a screening organization, we're a development organization. And the difference is pretty fundamental. A screening organization says you're not ready, come back when you're ready. Right? A development organization says you're not ready, let's introduce you to a mentor, let's find you some other resources, let's work with you for the next 1 or 2 years until you're ready. And so fundamentally, it's important for us to think of us as a development organization. And those of you who cover the roads all over Mississippi know this is a very big state, right? Lots of trees. And even though people like Zoom a lot better today, it's not only hard logistically, it's a little insulting to try to do everything from Jackson. So we have been working for the last several years to try to develop strong regional partners who can cover each area of the state. And those have manifested themselves through our CoBuilders program, Accelerator program, as well as through growing our angel funds around the state. And the SSBCI program is going to help with that even more in terms of being a top player to provide capital to those activities. So CoBuilders we've talked about, briefly introduced here last year. And the CoBuilders 2023, I'm going to talk a little bit more about at lunch. This is a statewide accelerator where we're going to have intensive time. It's moved to the fall of 2023. Intensive time with 10 companies where we're going to provide them capital and a lot of guidance. Again, I'll talk a little bit more about that at lunch. But I'm excited to kick off the talking about 2023 since it's football season with what else but a hype video. And again, you can see all of our partners. We're going to talk a little bit more about that at lunch today with our 2023 CoBuilders. And all of that CoBuilders program and all of our programming is about bringing the resources the Mississippi companies need, these startups need, and ultimately the resource they most often need that is in shortage supply is capital. And so as we've been working with a statewide angel network for now the last 15 years and the Mississippi Seed Fund for almost 15 years, we've also been putting in place these regional angel funds, and SSBCI is going to add to that. Now, those of you not familiar with the regional angel funds, the South Mississippi Angel Fund just kicked off with its first pitches here in the last month. And so that group actually is still open and will probably potentially bring in some more investors here as they get going, but has now started hearing pitches. We're now getting to work on the Oxford and River region funds. That might be one fund or it might be two, depending on how many it takes to get a critical mass as we cover the area from Natchez north and also go from Oxford west and south. So we're getting to work on these. These regional funds are important because what happens is individuals have a hard time negotiating the close of a deal, doing the deal terms. This allows 18, 20 people put in a small amount of capital, $25,000, $50,000 units, diversify into 8 or 10 companies, and also have the person next to them who's more experienced to ask about a particular deal. So we're very, very excited about the regional funds. Some of these regional funds, if they're new, will also be able to take advantage of the SSBCI program that Joe mentioned. This SSBCI program is a federal program. It's going to be bringing significant capital into Mississippi. I want to point out it's not a grant program. It's a one-to-one match. So if a fund comes in and creates a $5 million fund, they can make it a $10 million fund. But the returns back to SSBCI to make this evergreen will be the same terms as other investors. And we're going to have another program, the direct program, which is where companies can also come in similar to the seed fund, and they've raised $250,000, they need $500, they can get another $250. But it's going to be, again, under the same terms. So it's going to be an exciting program. It's going to put at least $26 million or $30 million of venture capital in, and because of the returns from that, this is, again, not a grant, that money will continue in an evergreen basis to continue for many, many years to come. So we're very, very excited about this. We can't quite announce all the aspects of it because the application to Treasury has not been approved yet, but we're excited about what's going on with that. From a basic timeline, we're going to kick off with a request for information next week. So anyone interested in doing a fund and participating in this program, we're going to be putting out a bunch of information, trying to get your information, tell you what we think about your proposal to be able to move forward starting next week and scoring those proposals here by the beginning of the year, and then have a formal process, hopefully if Treasury approves all this, to be able to kick off here after the beginning of the year to formally award that money into these funds. There are all sorts of other interesting program rules and a ton of compliance and insider and those types of rules that we'll be working through with the Mississippi Development Authority. But I'm really excited. It's going to be, as Joe mentioned, a lot of extra capital coming into our ecosystem that we think is going to make a big difference in terms of deals. And with that, I'm excited about the conference and the rest of this. I mentioned to kick this off, we want the conference to be about transactions. So I hope you get to catch up with people from all over the state that you haven't seen in a while. But most importantly, from our vantage point, we want you to make transactions happen, right? So connect to that company that needs a particular service or any other transactions that can come out of this, because we think that's the real value that this brings. Yesterday, we heard from the stage one of the entrepreneurs who literally said 2 years ago that this conference inspired him to go out and take this venture forward that he's now pitching and raising money and doing other things with. So those are the types of things we want out of this conference. We hope you enjoy the rest of the sessions. I'm going to get a do door prize real quick here, but after that, we're going to be kicking off here with the sessions that begin here at 9:30. And down the hall, there's going to be a couple of breakout sessions then again get started. I can't thank our partners enough in this. We're going to talk more about the CoBuilders partners, but all of you that have been sponsors and active in this, I can't thank you enough for all of your help in making all this happen. And with that, I've got a door prize, which is an Apple HomePod mini Bluetooth speaker. And I'm going to just, since I didn't collect these, I'm going to look away and flip these around and see if I can pick a business card. All of our sessions will be collecting business cards at the door, and we got some awesome door prizes. So please do make sure you got you give them your card. Okay, I picked this one. Oh, it's a Grantham Pool. Lena Ford with Grantham Pool has won this. So. And with that, let's go start something great. Let's enjoy the Accelerate 2022.